There we go. All right, we're here live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting, and round number 2. Here we are for game 1 of round number 2. The Sarnia Sting taking on the Saginaw Spirit. Lee Bazeley. Wow, we're here.
We are here. We definitely expected to be here, but then we had a little bit of more trouble closing out that first round.
I think we were nervous about getting here.
I was starting to get nervous.
I will say that for sure, but. Zach Felak really kind of sealed that deal at the end of it all there. An overtime goal, which I hate overtime.
That's where you and I differ, sir. I love overtime.
Well, I know. I just don't know that my heart can take it as much as yours can.
Well, it's definitely nerve-wracking. Later on in the series like that, I'd rather just close it out easily.
I know, right? But it really makes for exciting hockey. I mean, we want to win for sure, but at the end of the day, people are here to see exciting hockey, and they're definitely here to see it tonight. The Sarnia Sting are out on the ice just finishing up their warm-up. I got to give a shout-out to the Saginaw fans, too, because I forgot to – I got it on my phone. I'll have to put it up next time. There's a beautiful Saginaw Spirit vehicle out there. Mm-hmm. It's even got Sag Spirit for a license plate.
Oh, really?
And there's a whole bunch of Saginaw Spirit fans here tonight.
Yeah. I'm actually in the Spirit Fan Nation on Facebook.
Okay.
That picture we showed last time we were here of my son with the stick.
Yeah.
There's a member of the Sting Fan Nation that got a hold of that one and shared it in their group too.
Nice.
It's just kind of nice.
Go Sting, go, right?
As just kind of a thing showing, like, this kid, he knows what hockey's all about. And then just the community in the Saginaw area of the Saginaw Spirit community, almost just as good as what we have here in Sarnia. They have an amazing fan base. They're definitely coming out to show their support, just
100%.
like Sarnia would for when we head out to Saginaw there. So I think this is going to be a really good series. A lot of good fans on both sides. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm very glad that we're facing the Saginaw Spirit in this round, because I think we're going to have I think it's going to be a really, really good series.
Well, as playoffs go on, we've said it before, and it's true that playoffs is a whole new season, really, when it comes to hockey. We've talked about the whole more than a game philosophy. That's true for sure. Your son Will, a great example of that. And I will say, and I appreciate that you shared this with me because I had no idea, super fan here, Laura Domingos, was contacted by the CBC Windsor.
Right.
Talk about that story. I did listen to a bit of it today, but you shared it.
Again, just scrolling on Facebook like I do on my lunch hour. And on the Sting page, there was something from CBC Windsor. And Laura Domingos, like you said, Sarnia Sting super fan, was contacted by them to do an interview, because they don't, the Windsor community doesn't have the Spitfires in anymore.
I don't think they saw that coming.
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody in Windsor, not even probably anybody in Kitchener, saw that one coming.
Right.
But, I mean, Windsor people, they still love hockey. They still need somebody to cheer for. So they brought Laura on there so she could make her opinion known about the Sarnia Sting and this team and what they've accomplished, and why the Windsor fans, since the Spitfires are out, why they should shift their support to the Sarnia Sting. Yeah, it was a great interview.
It was like 7.5 minutes. Yeah. And the gentleman interviewing Laura said, well, what makes you a super Sting fan? And she said, hey, I didn't give myself that. I was given that title. But, she's here as every game she can with her children. Their home has a room designated totally to the Sarnia Sting. We're talking jerseys, pictures, hockey sticks.
Oh, wow.
All that stuff really does make them something that is a big Sting fan for sure, a super fan. And to be able to have CBC Radio Windsor reach out and say, what makes you a super fan? But you know what? She was really great about deterring that in another direction, because she said, I'm really not, but then, she is a super fan, but didn't give her – she's not self-proclaimed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But what she got talking about was, what makes us a great team. I mean, obviously the Sasha Pastujovs, the Del Belbaloos and Del Mastro. But I really like that she pointed out some of what we would call the underdogs here on this team. Zach Felak.
Yeah, so many good things to say about him she did in that interview. If you haven't had to listen to it, check it out. So many great things to say about him she did.
Zach Felak and Nolan Burke, who's been here for a while as well. I mean, he's broken his own milestone records with this. Everybody on this team, and I know we're repeating it, has really contributed to making this a great, successful team that I truly believe can go all the way.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, she's just kind of like echoing things that we've said because they're just getting the job done out there and they're making it well known.
Yeah.
It's easy to recognize the what this team has accomplished and what they're doing out there on the ice because they're doing it night after night after night every time their skates touch the ice. And everybody's recognizing it. I mean, not only us here, but, all the fans in the stands. And Laura, she articulated that perfectly the same way we do all the time. These Sting players have really, really accomplished something special this year, and they continue to do so throughout the playoffs as well.
Now, that being said, Coach Alan Letang, after the last post game that we had, home game, which was not a really successful, well, it wasn't a successful at all. They had to go away to earn that and then come back, right? So he said it, though. What's going on with this team? And he kind of said, like, we're here for sure, but you got to know how to compete. And well, how they competed, but it's not over yet. It's a long way to go here with this being the second round. That's great. We're all excited to be here, but the reality of it is they've got to get out there and compete. I think there was a bit of a close call there.
I think so, yeah. Definitely a lot closer than any of us would have anticipated in the first round against a team like the Guelph Storm. Like, I definitely think that we kind of were looking past them into the second round, and they kind of shut us up a little bit and made us realize, like, hey, we're here.
Yep.
If you take this first round for granted, we're going to take you down. We're going to put you guys – we're going to do to Sarnia what Kitchener did to London. Nobody's going to see it coming, but it's going to happen if you guys don't take us seriously. And finally they were able to kind of turn around and make it real, make it happen in that, Game 6. So it took a lot longer than I think any of us had anticipated.
Well, we would have liked to have seen a 4-game sweep for sure, we thought. I mean, that's a perfect world. It's hard to come by. But Kitchener proved that wrong for sure. We keep coming back to that. But, it's time to compete. Got to get out there and got to stand tall. Now, Saginaw, of course, no slouches. They're here in round 2 as well. Like we talk about, okay, we're here in round 2. So is the other team you're playing. They've worked hard through. Everybody's had the lucky bounces. But both teams that are here have earned their way here and both hungry to win at this point. Saginaw's a big team, and they're not going to be – I've heard people say, oh, we should have no problem. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
what do you mean no problem? Like Alan the Tank said, got to get out there and compete. And you got to show, do we have the skills on this team? 100%. But what's this team got to do to step it up a little bit more, Lee, to make it happen?
I think we talked about it a little bit in the first round. They need to change it up from game to game. They can't go out there with the exact same strategy every game and just expect that the other team's going to roll over and it's going to work night after night. They have to come something fresh, something new each time. I mean, we're talking about like Sarnia Sting went 6 games in the first round. Saginaw went 7. The win-loss record throughout the entire regular season, very, very similar between these two teams. So this is not going to be, an easy round by any means. Like, we are still expecting to win it. We are still expecting to move on to that third round on paper, but this is the playoffs, and we've said it time and time again over these last couple of weeks. The playoffs is a whole new animal.
That's right.
Anything can happen. So they need to be on their toes. They need we've talked about it last time, and they need to change it up. They can't come out.
I like that
because
like consistency's good, but then you've got to change it up now. And I mean, a lot of times, I mean, that's on the players. The coaches have done their job. They've gotten out there and said, here's the strategy, here's what we want to do, and this and that and the other situation, whatever they've taught the team. But then it's up to the team to engage and implement those plays. And sometimes if they're getting comfortable with, they got to step out of the box a lot of times too, right? And if they're not ready to step out of the box, which this team is capable of doing, we've seen that on the aggressive side of this team, where we've talked about how they step up a little bit more and everybody's doing their role to not let the bear get poked too much without responding. They've done that. We've seen the work improve a little bit on getting into those corners. I think that was kind of what got against us against Guelph. We were getting too much into those corners. They were putting us there, and that was one of our weak spots.
Definitely was, but I mean, they are getting better at that, and we do have a couple of really good players at handling that when it does get in the corner. Sasha Pasachov, Ethan Ritchie, who I saw was out there during warm-up, so he'll be back tonight. I think another big part of that first round where we started to struggle was not having our captain out there. Dillingham had that 4-game suspension,
missing him.
so we definitely missed him and his leadership. Like, he's got great skills out on the ice. He can make a lot of things happen. But he's also an amazing leader with that team. And when we lacked that leadership, while there's a lot of great leaders on this team, they always look to the one to kind of be the above all else. And without him there on the ice to lead that team, I think that was a big catalyst as well.
For sure.
That made us struggle in that in the later games.
Well,
of that
maybe
first
made
round.
us struggle, but I think made us, go, oh, we got to get through this. And that was that whole stepping up period for some of the younger players. Once again, Zach Felak, a great example of that here as well. Dillingham, of course, back now.
Yep.
But unfortunately, there are two players, Vilmanis and Kyrou are gone tonight.
I happen to notice that too. Kyrou and Vilmanis, they're going to feel that lack of those two, because those are two that have definitely stepped up, have made an impact night after night out there. So, we're definitely going to feel that loss out there tonight. But, I mean, every time somebody isn't in the lineup, we have somebody else that managed to step up on this team, and we've talked about that time and time again. So, while we will feel that loss, I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody else stepping up and doing something a little bit more spectacular than what we're used to seeing out of them, whether it be like, an Owen McDonald or a Brendan Anderson or,
good point.
Easton Wainwright, who's been, coming on strong as of late as well. So while we will feel that loss, I don't think we're short on talent out there tonight.
No, agreed.
Even without
and
those
honestly,
guys.
they're, to my knowledge, they're not injured. They're just fighting the flu, which has been going around with this team. As we've seen a few other players off before from that. Burke was off for a game because of that as well. So, but again, the balance here on this team, sure, we'd love to have them there, but there are those who know, okay, this is your role. It's time to step up. We're about 10 minutes away now from the Sarnia Sting coming out onto the ice, so we can hear that now. Benny Gaudreau will start in between the pipes for the Sarnia Sting tonight. He's been doing great for this team this year. This entire team has got what it takes to go all the way. Final thoughts, Lee?
I think it's going to be a good night here tonight. I saw Benny out there doing his warm-ups and the whole team kind of working out there. They're excited for tonight. They're as excited as we are out there. Benny had a big smile on his face while he was, shifting the pucks aside, but he was working hard. Like, he was like, it's game time, but his focus is, he's got that laser focus.
100%.
They were sitting there working on his glove side. They're sitting there working on his blocker side, both of them. And, it's these guys are at this high level of hockey, but they're still putting in the work and running the drills like they have their entire lives and their entire hockey playing careers, from the time they were probably 4 or 5 years old
at least,
to now. And that's what makes a great hockey team. That's what makes these players out here as good as they are, by putting in the work day after day, week after week, month after month. And that's why we're seeing such good results out there, because I don't see other teams putting in the hard work that the Sarnia Sting does out there, like during warm-ups, in practices, and any of that stuff. So Sarnia Sting's putting in the work. They've got the talent out there. I mean, there's no shortage. They've definitely got the ability to.
Yeah, for sure.
We've definitely got the expectation to. But like I said, we've said it time and time again, anything can happen out there.
That's right. It is OHL hockey, and that's why we're here live from the concourse for the Sarnia Sting. About 7.5 minutes away from this game getting underway with the puck drop. Lee will join me the rest of the evening here. We'll be back at the end of the first period with some hopefully positive results, but we'll be here either way. From the concourse, why am I having a hard? I'm excited.
Excitement. It's round two, baby. Round two.
Wrap it up, Burrows. Here we go. Okay, live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting. I'm David Burrows, my friend Lee Bazeley. 1, 2, 3, go Sting, go!